Yeah.
Because I'm not even dealing with you at this point.
Right.
We don't
I'm
even
sitting
know
here
what we're
fighting
dealing
with monsters that are like, what?
Working through you, and you're telling them shit about me
Yeah.
in your sleep
Yeah.
that they're using against
Same
me.
as Felix. Huh? Wake your ass that. Shut up. Right now. Don't you say my name in your sleep no more. Because every time you do, I'm going to punch you in the ribs.
So, hey, besties.
Hey.
Welcome back for another episode of the Hello Bestie podcast. I'm Maggie.
I'm Tashima.
What you got for us today?
All right. So today we're reviewing Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell. So Stolen Tongues by Felix Blackwell is a horror novel about a couple, Felix and Faye, celebrating their engagement with a cabin getaway at Pale Peak. Their romantic retreat quickly turns into a nightmare as they're plagued by eerie voices, unsettling noises from the woods, and encounters with shadowy figures that fixates on Faye. Faye, who suffers from a sleep disorder, begins talking back to the mysterious presence during her sleep, and soon it becomes clear that something sinister is trying to possess her, even following them back home from the cabin. And in reading a little bit about it, it says that this novel is actually inspired by a viral Reddit story. It said, inspired by a viral Reddit story, the novel blends themes of supernatural terror, psychological suspense, and the lengths love can go to protect and heal. Goodreads, it had a 3.8 rating, and on Audible, it had a 4.
Really? Okay.
What would you rate this book?
I'd give it a solid 3.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me. I've been wanting to know so bad, like, what did you think about it? Because you don't really like spooky. And then I had originally chosen Pet Sematary by Stephen King, and you were like, yeah, that's a hard no for me. And so with Stolen Tongues, I was like, because once I started listening to it, I was like, ooh.
Here's the thing. You warned me. You said don't listen to this at night.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it. I could have totally listened to this at night. And I did a couple of times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Then I feel like you could listen to Pet Sematary.
I don't rate it. Well, people rave about Stephen King and he does it the best. The first horror book that we read was
Episode 13.
Episode 13.
Yeah.
And now this.
Which had a lot of comedy in it, in my opinion. Whether
it was amusing for
not,
sure.
Yeah.
There was a lot of unintended amusement there. And now I read this and it just makes me feel like I could probably totally do horror. If these two fall into that category, I'm probably just making it out to be maybe something that it's not.
I think so. Because I didn't know a lot about this book when I chose it. But once I started listening to it, and, I told you not to listen to it at night, I was like, well, she didn't tell me that she didn't finish it. So she finished this. She could definitely do Pet Sematary. I feel like you could.
I'm going to finish something for book club. If it's something I'm picking on my choice, I probably wouldn't. But if it's, I'll do it for book club. But that wasn't, it had nothing to do. But Stephen King is a great writer. That's what he's known for, creating this imagery, creating this. That's what I'm afraid of. I feel like that book and this one failed in that aspect of it. I think this had the potential to be a good book, a great book, actually. It just fell flat for me in some of the writing and the descriptions and it didn't really take me there. And it took me a long time to get into it. It took me a few hours and then it kind of picked up and I was like, all right. And the end was like, wow. That's why this thing has been chasing her around for decades in her sleep.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it felt like, okay, I finally got into it, and then
womp womp.
Yeah.
You mentioned the ending didn't do it for you. So how did you feel about I guess they call it the mimicry, how it would mimic people's voices and stuff like that?
That was scary.
Yeah.
That was scary. I have to say, too, this was one of those I probably would have done better to read it instead of listening to the audio. When you said that they rated it 4 on audio, I was like, really?
That wasn't the narrator's rating, though. Audible has 2. It has one for the... Maybe I should include that. It has one for the book and one for the narrator. I don't remember what the narrator's rating was.
Okay.
But I do remember a few people mentioning that they didn't quite care for the narration, but I don't remember it having a low rating.
Got it. Okay.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
I assume it might have had somewhere around a 4, probably.
Got it. Okay.
But personally, I didn't care for the narration. I didn't care how the narrator was doing Faye's voice, and how everybody other than the everybody except for Felix sounded like they were shouting from across the room, or like somebody inside yelling to somebody who's in the driveway. Everybody sounded like they were really far away.
I agree. It sounded like he was shouting, and instead of, it's difficult, I imagine, for a male to do a female's voice, and vice versa. It's difficult for a woman to deepen her voice and do all of that.
Yeah.
It seemed like in him trying to go up octaves, he went up in volume instead.
Correct. Yeah, which is kind of like you don't have to yell. And there were a few times where I'm like, is this what you think we sound like? Like, is the person who's around you always yelling at you? Because I don't understand why Faye is always screaming.
Right.
Like, the only time it made sense is when they had arrived at the cabin and one person was actively in the cabin and the other person was like outside at the car or in 2 different rooms. There's another book that I'm currently listening to, and there are 2 narrators, a male and female, but there are times where the female she's giving it's from her POV, so there are times where she's interacting with the other male main character, and so she's doing his voice, and it definitely is like, it's a little cringy, because the male main character's voice is very deep, so when she's doing it, it's like she's talking like this, and then when she's telling us something that he said, she's like, yeah, I mean, you know, like it clearly sounds like you're trying to do, and it's just like, I don't know if I can do this. So I imagine it could be very difficult to, like, you know, role reversal in that way.
It's got to be hard. And I mean, I don't know. Me as the listener, I wouldn't be opposed to, you got a husband, a brother, someone around. Just read this quick 2 lines for me real quick.
Just do it. Yeah, can you just read these lines?
I wouldn't mind just a random different voice coming in for the purpose of saying this line and then going away and I don't hear that voice anymore. I would rather that than you attempting and failing miserably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say it was like a miserable fail.
Oh yeah, that was harsh, but you know what I mean, like not executing it as well as it could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the thought of that. This thing is outside the door and it's hearing you talk, and I think the author did a good job of kind of explaining that portion of it, how it would break up words and piece them together, and then eventually it's this perfect imitation of someone else. That was creepy, for sure. That was actually when I started getting into it.
That's when it got a little spooky for me, is like hearing it, like trying to perfect it and like clearing its voice and then having this broken up. I was like, oh my gosh, this is scary. Yeah. Like, why does he sound like that? Because, you know, obviously when it comes to supernatural, like, one never knows. But that was the part for me where I started getting a little like, ooh.
Yeah, that was definitely creepy. That was like, okay, we can get into this now. Yeah. This is a little troubling here.
Definitely. So what did you think about Felix's so-called devotion to Faye throughout the book?
Listen, as a female, if I start sleepwalking out of nowhere, if I start speaking to things that aren't there, I would like to think that the guy who asked for my hand in marriage would stay by my side and work with me through this. As a person,
as you're like crawling on the ceiling and doing really backwards spooky shit.
If one of my sons got engaged to a chick and they go to a cabin and they call me and tell me, even if they had already gotten married, son, run run fast. And even that may not save you, because these spirits, they don't play around with stuff like that. So that just seemed very admirable, but also very, what? There's a lot of women out here that ain't doing stuff like that, Felix. And you haven't even, y'all haven't jumped the broom yet. You can still get out of this. It's, you know.
He's like, divorce. Immediately.
They weren't even married, though.
Yeah.
So like I said, as a woman, if I were Faye, like, oh my God, you know. But as any other person outside of Faye, her own parents wouldn't even mess with her like that, knowing what had happened to her. Parents? I thought her parents were complete pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Especially, same. It's bad enough that they never told her. I don't know.
The whole thing was messy.
The whole thing was messy.
From beginning to end. The fact that you had this secret that you kept, you then sent us back to the same place. The whole thing just seemed like a really sick setup. Like you wanted something to happen. There is no reason to send them there, basically.
I felt like I could see how it could come across as a setup. I felt like in their minds, maybe that was a fluke. Although I don't know why you would think that. Like one time has to be enough.
Yeah.
But I feel the way it was described and the way it was written, it was one of those, maybe we just really blew that out of proportion, but you still never went back, so it impacted you in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Because if you really felt like that.
Creepy stuff as a kid there.
Yeah.
So, like, what?
If you guys thought it was just, you could have gone back the next summer when she was still a kid to see if it happened again, right. If you just to really determine. But the way it was written made it sound like it wasn't malicious and it wasn't a setup. They were just hoping they would go and everything would be fine and that nothing would ever happen. But also, how could you expect that too? So yeah, it did feel like a setup.
So me to the Bahamas next time.
Yeah. But no, that just, it really made me mad. And then when he had to come out and him describing his future mother-in-law was very funny.
Yeah. He's like, enough of this shit. Like, for fuck's sake, like, just keep it real. There's crazy shit that's happening right now. Like, I can't do this with you.
Be honest with me.
Yeah.
What'd you think about the sister and her child and that whole situation?
Stupid.
Yeah.
The whole thing felt stupid.
Yeah.
Like, you know that your fiance is on some weird shit, and you thought it would be a really great idea to invite her sister and her baby?
Yes.
Why, though? Like, up until the day before she got there was crazy stuff going on. Right. It's not like you guys got home and she was, you know, she did the, like, vomiting of the black stuff everywhere, and then she was good. And you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe she's good now. Now we can have people come over because we're going to go back to normal. No, like, she's still doing crazy stuff.
All of it was just wild. So wait, you never answered me. Let's go back, because what did you think about Felix and his devotion to Faye?
Oh, I felt like he was dumb. Like, again, kind of like you. That's great for Faye. Right. We could never. Right. I've never known love like that. Let's just put it that way. But he also was doing stuff that didn't make sense to me. Just like these sleepless nights, but then he would still snuggle up next to her. I'm sorry. If I wake up and you're hovered in the corner on some heavy breathing type shit.
Right.
And doing creepy stuff, running around, crawling on the walls and like talking to me in weird voices, I'm not sleeping next to you. Like, I'm probably going to be in the living room, like we're on a mountain, there's nowhere for me to go. I'm going to be in the corner with your dad's gun, one eye open, all night long.
Right.
Because if you come at me with this crawling on the wall stuff,
this exorcist
it's
stuff.
R.I.P. to you. And I don't know how I'm going to explain this, so it's probably going to be clink clink to me.
what bothered me, like all jokes aside, because I'm like, run, 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 which on the one hand, run, 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 but you fall in love with someone, you care about this person, you want the best for them, all the good things. It would be fucked up for, you know, something that they can't even control happening to them and you just ditch them. Having said that, he told her, we need to call somewhere and get you help. And she's, no, I don't want help. That's what really pissed me off.
Right.
Because, like, look, I'm sticking around and I'm fucking trying to be here and I'm trying to do it, but you don't even want the help that you need. And I can't do this by myself.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing all that, you're not yourself. And where does that leave me? Because I have to defend myself.
Yeah.
Because I'm not even dealing with you at this point.
Right. I'm sitting here fighting with monsters that are like, what?
Working through you, and you're telling them shit about me in your sleep.
Yeah.
That they're using against me.
Same as Felix. Huh? Make your ass that. Shut up. Right now. Don't you say my name in your sleep no more. Because every time you do, I'm going to punch you in the ribs.
So that was what made it worse for me. Like, yo, I get like not just running out and deserting her, but he also didn't force her to do anything that she needed to.
Right.
The dude T-Way or whatever.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that whole situation?
I thought T-Way was setting them up.
Off rip?
Off rip. I thought T-Way was setting them up. And those situations, when I hear scary stuff, it's just very don't trust no one. They all trying to get out to...
Yeah.
When he made a comment, I think the first time, like, I'd offer you to come with me, but you probably wouldn't. I was like,
Yeah. And then he was like, but I mean, you just gonna leave me here? Right. I was like... Okay, this is weird.
Yeah. And then I was even confused when he went out into the woods and the thing turned around and it said it was T-Way. And I was like, I knew it was him. I knew it was him. It didn't dawn on me that this thing had like killed T-Way and put his face on. It took me a minute.
That part was devastating to realize that like it had attached itself to him and like killed him and his son.
Yeah.
I was like, heartbroken.
It felt very kill off both like the indigenous people. Is that what we're doing? Like you...
It was very heartbreaking. Yeah. Just the whole, you know, situation I felt was really sad because they were very innocent. Like everybody who's coming around y'all is dying except for y'all.
Right.
That seems very unfair.
Agreed. Agreed.
So you guys just gonna be unscathed? Like Tweedledee into the sunset?
Yeah.
So something that kind of irritated me when Felix went back into the cabin, like looking for the ring. He can't find the ring. Creepy stuff is still happening.
He was there by himself.
Yeah. And then he took a hot bath.
Right.
Like those little things, I was just like, there's no way I'm taking a hot bath and just like...
You're nowhere near as afraid as you're letting on.
Right. Like the things you're doing and the things you're saying, the math isn't mathing.
You're trying to draw comfort right now, and that's not what you do in this situation.
I would be stank and dirty, tearing that place upside down, looking for that ring before I just sit there and take a soothing hot bath at night.
How'd you feel about the whole dream catcher thing? And then them
continuing to ask you that.
And then continuing to call it a dream catcher even after Nathan and T-Way made it very clear it is not a dream catcher.
Yeah, because it's made of like hair and bones and
skin and
snot
blood,
or whatever. I don't know. I was really grossed out by it. And then the idea of him like ripping it to pieces seemed like a really bad idea.
Yeah, I don't know what. It's just... It was giving very, don't go in the house. Don't do that. Don't
go through the door. Like, what's that sound?
Right.
Don't go in there.
What did you think about when they started introducing the backwards 5?
It seemed kind of like, I don't know. It seemed like, why now?
Yeah.
Like, why haven't we always seen little notes of this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it would have made more sense to me if, let's say they were dating and he's talking about little weird quirky things that she does and how much she's always doodling and drawing, and like for some reason they're always, he notices that all her paintings always have like a number 5 or a fifth element to them.
Mm-hmm.
That would have pulled it all together.
Yes.
Than just like we're 5-6 hours into this book and now all of a sudden we have these number 5s.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
It seemed very odd. What did you think about this? Because I was cracking up when he wanted to go to the cabin by himself and he called his homeboys. I was like, yo, she's having a little, like, he went into no detail, but just, I don't want her to be alone. She's kind of going through some things right now. Can you just stay with her?
Yeah.
If you
That's as dumb as the sister coming with the baby.
Right. If you set me up for the okie doke like that, and this bitch is in my house, like,
you're like, yo, your girl is tripping. And then your man is like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, that's your friend. That ain't got nothing to do with me. He packs up his stuff and he's gone. Like, you can stay here for this shit. I'm not. Because I don't know what she's on. Yeah.
How did you feel when they were at her house? Like, it was clear, oh, this thing is following her. This didn't just happen at the cabin. They're at our house now, too, that we had to take an airplane to get back to. Yeah. This thing is now...
And, like, black vomit that seems to be in the shape of something that going up so the stairs gross. In the new condo that or townhome that we're staying in. I could see that. Like, that was very descriptive. Mm-hmm. And the guy is, like, cleaning the floor, and he was like...
This ain't vomit.
Yeah, what? I
don't know what y'all got going on.
Yeah, no. I was just like, oh, this is so gross. I guess at that moment is really when, like, the supernatural element really kicked in for me. Mm-hmm. The fact that it followed. Yeah. And then she was still acting kind of weird. There was a part in there where he talks about, I think he was laying in the bed with Faye, and then he mentions that, like, she licked his face.
Girl.
And then just, like, he just laid next to her, and she just went to sleep. That's that moment where I'm like, enough is enough.
But there was a couple times he said that she didn't quite feel like herself.
Right.
Or she didn't quite, because, yeah, I just...
There's no way we're a couple and you're on some other shit and you come so close to my face and then you just lick the side of my face and I'm just laying in the bed next to you like, blink, blink, blink.
I think that happened.
And then you just go to sleep? And I'm just like, here?
I think the first time he was weirded out, like, huh. And then it happened again. And I think it got to the point to where if she licked it, it was like, oh, shit. like it's about to go down.
She's going to eat you, bro. Like, right. Why are you laying next to her? She's licking on you like you're a juicy pork chop smothered in onions. Like, she's going to eat you in your sleep. And you just snuggled up next to her and you just fall asleep until she does some other weird stuff.
I don't know. That whole thing was weird. And I will say by this point, I'm very much invested. And now I just want to know what is going on?
Yeah.
And then when I found out, it felt very much like maybe the author experienced miscarriage or experienced a grief like this and just felt the need to kind of just write about it in some way. That's what it felt like, because it felt so random to where this must have some personal significance to you for you to put it in here in this fashion. Very anticlimactic. Because it's, why would this thing care that much about that? And that's a horrible thing to happen. I'm not like making light of that, but it just felt like for this thing to be stealing tongues and doing all this stuff in her life since childhood, just to disclose that there's a fifth family member. Like that's the significance of the number 5, that she had a, and then also too, I've heard it happen to people before where something just causes so much grief and so much pain they just
Right.
totally block it out and don't remember at all.
Yes.
I feel like that had to be very emotional for all those feelings to just come flooding back and remembering him, and that I did feel bad about, but it just felt very like all that for this, okay.
I feel the same way, but at the same time, I know when it comes to the supernatural, children are a lot more susceptible than adults are. It's what they say. They. So I could see that as like a supernatural entity such as that being very intrigued by the level of grief, but then like the immediate absence of it and becoming obsessed and wanting to break this thing. Like, I think it became like an obsession or treasure. And to that extent, like, it basically just, like, it was already doing things that it did to T-Way and his son and other people, like, for generations. But then you have this one thing that it's like it's there, but it can't reach it.
Yeah.
And the only way for me to have you is to basically make you remember. Like, I don't know. Like, I got it, but at the same time, it did feel like, I don't know. I guess a child could be really devastated by something like that, especially if they don't really understand it.
Right.
But it did feel like, it almost feels like it would have been a little more impactful for it to have been like the loss of a parent or an established sibling.
I could see that.
As opposed to like, in utero.
I could see that.
Because
way
kids
better.
don't really, like, they don't have that same attachment like they do and they don't.
Right. Because she was having memories of, oh, yeah, I remember decorating the nursery, and I remember, mom going and to have the baby, and then the baby didn't come home, and it was just a very innocent recollection of it.
Right.
It just...
Like, even if she would have had the baby, and then, like, shortly like, the baby is home, and she has memories of the smell and holding the baby and the whole routine of it all, that would have made more sense than, like,
I agree.
a miscarriage.
Yeah.
It would have just brought it home just a teensy bit more.
Finding out even made me more angry at the parents, because it felt like, if you knew, why didn't you just say that?
Yeah, because it seemed very...
It just seemed way more serious. I don't want to call
it insignificant,
yeah.
But she's grown. She's about to be married, and you're still holding a miscarriage from when she was like 7 years old as a secret? I was just like, y'all are wilding out.
Yeah, for real. And the dad just basically like, oh, you can have my car. Go ahead.
Yeah.
But then when the wife is telling him, he goes upstairs and doesn't want to hear any of it. It just felt very... Yeah. What's wrong with y'all?
So the math didn't math. Yeah. I did listen to like the author's notes, and I did appreciate the level of research that he did, and how, at first he was like, do I have the right to write something like this? And I don't want to write a book and, like, misrepresent, like, an entire culture. And I appreciate the care that he took of not to generalize all Native Americans in a way. When he calls and he's like, hey, can you bring some sage? And she's like, yeah, I'm not that kind of Native American.
Right.
Like, we all don't just walk around with satchels of things. Like, I appreciated the author modernizing and making it, like, not what, Cowboys, Indians type.
I felt very torn about that, because I did listen to the author's note, but this was after feeling like, the fuck did I just,
Yeah.
I was irritated. And I agree. I do think he took care. I think he was very thoughtful in how he portrayed him, but I'm like, but you still killed off the two
Native Americans.
Yeah, you still did that though. But yeah, I did listen to the note too, and I appreciate authors who take a moment to leave a note after a book or before a book on how they got inspired, and
Yeah.
it
And other books that you can read to further educate yourself on just like Native American heritage and history and stuff like that. I thought was like made sense.
Yeah.
If you're writing something about a culture that isn't your own.
Yeah, I think it always goes back to no matter how we rate a book, whether we liked it or didn't really care for it, someone put effort into this and
Right.
it meant a lot to them. So for that reason alone, respect the craft, even if it wasn't your favorite.
Right.
Yeah. We are going to be reading and discussing The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. Bye.
Bye.